Hey everyone, so just got back from the fourth round of the Formula Regional European Championship in Mugello. Back in the UK now, had a few days to reflect on the weekend. Unfortunately it wasn't the easiest weekend for us. We went into it, we had Thursday testing, Friday testing, and then obviously the weekend of racing, which involves 3 races. And yeah, for me, I was really looking forward to the weekend. We had quite a difficult build up into the weekend with the first few races of the season not being quite so easy for us. So for me, Mugello was a really good opportunity to try and sort of bounce back, and yeah, where better to do it than at Mugello. It's one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. I think anyone that knows the circuit, I did a track guide earlier in the week, and honestly, the place is unreal. It's really is a driver's favourite. So yeah, more than anything, I was just excited to be able to go there and to race there. And obviously with the testing that we had, I felt like I could get up to speed and make good steps from where we were. There's quite a few things that we struggled with in the early races. My feel of the car and getting it a bit more dialed into where I was happier. And over the course of the test days, I felt like we did quite a good job with that. The 2 test days were dry, so yeah, I felt like we actually made good, meaningful steps. Couldn't quite really show it on the timesheets, but I really felt a lot happier in the car, which for sure made quite a big difference. And then unfortunately, when we got to Saturday and Sunday with qualifying, the heavens opened, which normally I would really enjoy. I think being British, I'm used to racing, in tracks that, or in conditions that aren't always dry and sunny. It's quite often cold and wet when you race in the UK. So yeah, those conditions were something I was used to, but for whatever reason, I couldn't quite maximise the conditions, and just really struggled for just general speed, to be honest. Both, I think, a lack of confidence in the car, but also me just struggling to adapt to the conditions, and they were constantly changing over the weekend. I don't think we had, 2 laps the same, let alone 2 races or, sessions. So yeah, it was super tough to adapt, and for me, it's just quite difficult to, make a good step. Qualifying obviously didn't go quite to plan. Qualified, I think, 9th for both races. And then race 1 was just really tricky conditions. A lot heavier rain than in qualifying, which unfortunately when you're further back in the pack you get a lot of spray, so you can't see very much at all, which made it really tricky to make progress. Again, just lack that feel and confidence in the car, and it's a bit of a vicious cycle in the wet. As soon as you lack the feel and the confidence, then you can't get the tyre temperatures up, and then it's really hard to sort of get faster and faster and adapt to the conditions. So really it was just a battle of keeping it on the road and finishing the race, which we did and got a few points in the bag, but still not where we wanted to be. And then race 2, we took a gamble. The track looked to be drying. We went for the lap to the grid, and for me it was a definite decision to put slicks on, which I think only 2 other drivers put slicks on around us, and everyone else was on wets. And then quite quickly into the race we realised it was definitely slicks, which for me was a great feeling, knowing that we had an opportunity to get a podium in that race with the drying conditions. And everyone else had to pit for slicks, and we were able to get out front. I think I was running P2 or P3 at the time. And then typical Mugello, the heavens opened and it started raining again. So yeah, that meant that we had to box again. Madness that in a half-an-hour race, the Premier boys, for example, did 7 pit stops. So yeah, it was crazy, crazy race. But yeah, when we came in for wets, we were a bit behind, and then obviously the safety car came out, and that really just hampered our chance of a podium, which was a bit frustrating. But I guess the way these things go. And then obviously race 3, typical again, started to dry, started to rain again, started to dry. It ended up being dry, but just struggled a little bit for pace in the final race, and just lacked a bit of confidence to make the progression forwards. Started 9th, finished 8th, so yeah, not a disaster, but not really where we want to be. But yeah, I think lots have been learned over the weekend. There's a lot that I want to improve on myself, a lot that I think we can work on with the team and with the car. So there's a lot to be excited about in that sense. And yeah, only a short turnaround to Monza. So looking forward to making amends. Working as hard as I can in this off period, working with the team, and hopefully we can have a much stronger run of it in Monza.